Hello friends, you are on the Infoport Psychology channel. Are you ready to understand why some men easily find a common language with women while others remain on the sidelines? If you watched the first part, you already know that beauty, appearance and body language can change your approach. But this is just the beginning. Today, we will go deeper. How charisma sounds, any phrases work better, why excessive efforts sometimes only get in the way, and what simple actions attract attention more than a million words. Here's a picture. Two men in the same group. One is relaxed, smiling, conveying confidence and pleasure in the moment. The other is tense, as if solving a physics problem, and his every gesture seems to scream, "Please, pay attention to me." Who do you think is the center of attention? Spoiler, you can be that first guy, and we're showing you how. Give a like, subscribe to the channel Infoport Psychology, click on the bell and stay until the end. Today will be a lot of usefulness, humor and of course, a little sarcasm. Give a like, subscribe to the channel Infoport Psychology, click on the bell and stay until the end. Today will be a lot of usefulness, humor and of course, a little sarcasm. Let's get started. You know, there's two kinds of men. The first one is all uptight, trying to please everyone. Every gesture is like a squeak, every word is memorized. The second is relaxed, confident. The movements are fluid, looking straight ahead, open. I'm magnetically drawn to him. What's the difference? Charisma, that's what it is. Force of attraction. Charisma in action. Charisma is not about looks, it's not about beauty. It is an energy that attracts like a magnet. Charismatic person, he is self-confident, open to the world. He knows how to listen as well as hear. People are drawn to him because everyone feels special around him. Less is more. When you overplay. You know, trying too hard only makes it worse. The forced compliments, the unnatural behavior, it's all repulsive. People can smell falseness a mile away. Be yourself, it's much more attractive than any masks. The magic of simplicity. Simple things that work. A smile, an open gaze, sincere interest in the person you are talking to. These are such simple things, but they work wonders. Be attentive to people. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Develop your charisma. Work on yourself. And the world will return the favor. Let's talk about what's going on in your head. If you're thinking, I'm not worthy of her attention, she's ignoring me anyway, then, yeah, she'll feel it. Women can read insecurity like an X-ray, even if you look like an Oscar winner on the outside. It's, you know, like cheap perfume. You try to cover up the smell of insecurity with pretty words, but it still gets through and instantly scares you away. Our thoughts are like a radio. If your mood is, I'm a loser FM, then believe me, people around you hear that voice. You can say the smartest things, pretend that you're confident in yourself, but if there is a quiet voice inside you whispering, she is not interested in you, you are not good enough. That's it, the game is lost. It's game over. Women notice it right away. It's like Wi-Fi. They don't get a signal, but they can see if it's there or not. Typical attitudes that mess things up. She's too good for me. Well, congratulations. With the approach, you've only put yourself down as an attitude, nobody. You haven't gotten anywhere yet, and you've already decided you're not on the level. Why the approach in communication? To prove to yourself that you were right. I'm gonna get rejected anyway. You know what's funny? If you set yourself up for rejection, you'll get it. Why? Because your behavior will say, well, I'm here to lose, so let's get this over with already. It's like showing up for a job interview and starting off by saying, I'm obviously not a good fit, but I thought I'd give it a shot. That's a great strategy. I have to change the impression. That's the trap right there. When you try too hard to be liked, you stop being yourself. The woman sees you tense up, and instead of interest, she has the thought, why is he trying to sell himself so desperately? Is he hiding some kind of trick? Too much desire to impress works against you. It's like a salesman who shouts, buy this, you need it. Makes you want to walk right past it. Work on your attitudes. If you think attention isn't enough, start simple. Replace that thought with, I am worthy of being noticed because I have interesting qualities. Remind yourself that your value doesn't depend on its status. You are already an interesting person. Dating is just an opportunity to get to know a friend, not a survival test. If you have an inner critic inside you, send him on vacation, or at least put it in a corner and don't let it ruin everything for you. Check your thoughts right now. What are you emitting? Confidence or doubt? Tune in and don't worry, I am worthy. Like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, click on the bell and get ready for new discoveries. Everything starts with your thoughts, so let's organize them. Friends, Let's be honest. If you know how to make a woman laugh, it's already half of success. Humor is like a secret weapon that makes you instantly more attractive. He says, "Not only am I a great guy, but I'm also a person you can't get bored with. But it's a weapon that must be used correctly. Because if the joke doesn't go in, you go from fun and interesting to weird guy who tries too hard." Why is humor so appealing? Women like lightness. A good joke relieves tension, creates protection, and immediately throws you into the category of those with whom it is comfortable to be around. Now imagine that instead of light humor, you start trolling jokes about your mother-in-law or pouring jokes from the school VK public. Yes, that's how they go to success and die with the dream that they can be liked. An example of successful humor: instead of a hackneyed compliment, formulate a light, casual joke. For example, "You know, when I saw you, I forgot why I came here in the first place. I hope it wasn't a cunning plan by the barista." It's simple, original, and makes you smile. She realizes you're not afraid to be a little playful, which is a plus. What exactly isn't working? "You know, my ex used to love dresses like this too, before she got me an apartment." If you urgently need to discuss your ex, call a counselor. The woman doesn't want to feel like she's in a group therapy session. If you joke in such a way that even the waitress in the room rolls her eyes, it's mission failed. Rude humor or below-the-belt jokes only cause irritation. It's like trying to win a girl's attention using memes from 2010. No one's laughing, but everyone's embarrassed. Tip: make jokes easily and comfortably. Good humor is light-hearted, a little self-irony, and no pressure. You don't need to be the stand-up comedian of the year. It is enough to be someone who knows how to relax the atmosphere and bring a sincere smile. Start saying a couple of easy, playful phrases that you can use in conversation. And of course, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, give it a like and press the bell. Let's together develop a sense of humor that works. Friends, let's be clear, no one likes falseness, women especially. If you're trying to appear to be someone you haven't noticed, it becomes noticeable in 3 minutes. Well, maybe 5 if you're very convincing. But you know what happens next? She realizes that you're impersonating someone else and mentally thinks, well, who is this person? Maybe his real me is the guy arguing with the cashier over a discount on kefir? Why doesn't the pretense work? Because it looks funny. But not in a good way, like, why does he sound like the hero of a bad game? You want to be defensive, but instead, you sound like someone who has memorized a motivational training script. An example of a pretense gone wrong. You try to seem like an art connoisseur. "Oh, you like modern painting? I'm a fan too. I'm so close to the concept of existential minimalism." And then she asks, "Who's your favorite artist?" And you go, Van Gogh? He's definitely a modernist, isn't he?" Well, now you don't look like a connoisseur, but like someone who took a quick look at a Wikipedia article before talking. Why does sincerity work? Sincerity is a government tool. It shows that you are not trying to please at all costs. Instead, you say, "This is who I am, and I'm okay with it." An example of sincerity. "Honestly, I don't know much about painting, but I'm interested to know what you like about it." Voila! Not only are you not lying, but you're also showing that you're discovering something new. Tip: be yourself. But better, sincerity doesn't mean you have to do everything. For example, "You know, my house is such a mess that I'm afraid to come in." That's not sincerity, that's the reason she won't want to see you again. Sincerity is when you're honest but positive. Show that you are comfortable being yourself. Drop the pretense right now. Don't try to appear better than you are. Work on yourself, but be yourself. Like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, press the bell, and stay tuned. Together we'll figure out how to stay real, but still be the best version of ourselves. Let's go. So, you approached a girl, smiled, said something brilliant, as you thought, and in response you heard, "Sorry, I'm not interested." What now? Tragedy? The end of the world? Time to retire to the mountains and become a hermit? No, friends, it's much simpler than that. Rejection is just a small blow to your ego. Don't confuse it with the finality of life. No one has ever died from being told no. Well, except for those people who tried to borrow money from the mafia. Why is rejection okay? Because you're not a pack of favorite chips that everyone likes. You can't be liked by absolutely everyone. That's okay. Even Johnny Depp and Chris Hemsworth get a no sometimes. Did you think you'd be the exception? Typical thoughts after rejection and what to do about them. If women only liked one type of man, the world would be overpopulated with copies of one guy on the cover of a men's magazine. But that doesn't happen. Think about it. It's embarrassing. Everybody saw it. Who's even looking at you? People are too busy with their own drinks like, "What should I eat for dinner?" Or, "Where are my keys?" The only person who remembers your rejection is you. The rest of us have already forgotten you exist. I'll never try it again. Great strategy. If people thought that way, we'd still be walking because the first inventor of wheels would probably get millions of rejections. Didn't work out with one girl? It's no big deal. You don't quit the gym after one class, right? Although, okay, bad example. How to turn rejection into a lesson. Every rejection is an opportunity to get better. Ask yourself, what did I do wrong? How can I improve my behavior? Or maybe she's just not my person. Rejection is like a bad take in a movie. Draw conclusions, reshoot the probability, and everything will work out. An example of a positive expectation, she said, no. Instead of getting discouraged, think, well, great. Now I know how not to approach. Next try will be better. Draw conclusions and move on. If you think rejection is a workout, you'll realize that you didn't lose, you just pumped up your social muscles. So friends, you treat rejection as a step on the road to success. Sit in front of a fan or air conditioner, take a pause to see what you can improve. And of course, give us a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, and hit the bell. We'll teach you how to turn even rejections into wins. Go on to new acquaintances. Let's get this straight. If you're sitting on the couch, grabbing some chips and thinking that charisma will find you on her own, bad news, she chose someone else a long time ago. A man who works against you automatically becomes more interesting. Sports, education, hobbies are like upgrades for a character in a game. You can't get to a higher level without them. Yes, watching memes and TV shows doesn't count as a hobby, even if you've become a master at guessing endings. When you develop, it's noticeable. Your body gets stronger, your brain gets smarter, your conversations get more interesting. Women detect that and think, I won't be bored with him. Now imagine the opposite. You say, well, I'm watching YouTube right now and occasionally rearranging my socks in the closet. What conclusion will she draw? Oh, he's clearly a world-class boredom specialist. What are some of the interesting things you do? No, you don't have to turn into Schwarzenegger. But at least make it clear that you know which way to approach the treadmill. If your main sporting activity is cybersports, let your fingers look practiced. No, you don't have to quote Nietzsche on a first date, but having some knowledge of the world is a plus. At least know where Paris is and that the earth is round. If you answer the question, what books do you read? With, I'm more of a comic book guy. That's also an option, but not the best. Knitting, that's great. You collect model airplanes? That's great. The important thing is that you have some passion other than endlessly scrolling through social media. If your main hobby is counting the number of tiles in your bathroom, something needs to be done about it immediately. When a man develops, he shows that he knows how to take care of himself. Women think, if he has arranged everything for himself like this, he will also put effort into the relationship. This is a signal. You are not just a man, you are a project that gets better every day. And who doesn't want to be around someone who is progressing? Tip: start with the balcony. You don't have to sign up for a marathon or learn Chinese right away. Find something you enjoy and get started. You want to run? Buy sneakers. You like to read? Get a book. The important thing is to get started. Develop yourself, friends. Work on yourself, and you will see how not only your life changes, but also how you are perceived by others. And of course, subscribe to Infoport Psychology, click on the bell, and give us a like. We are here to help you become a better person. Go to the next level. Emotional intelligence, friends, is the superpower that separates the guy who feels the moment from the one who talks like a chatbot stuck in repetition mode. If you don't realize she's been sitting there for 3 minutes with a "please someone save me" face, then congratulations. This is your chance to be the hero of her worst date story. Why is it important to read her mood? Women don't need overexertion. They need a man who can understand a simple thing. Is she bored, laughing, or looking at the door as an escape? If you can see that, you're already in a good position. If you don't see it, well, it's going to be a long night. An example of how you screwed up: you tell her the story about eating the spiciest burrito of your life yesterday. She nods, says, wow, that must have been tough. And her eyes themselves are glassy. Her gaze wanders around the room, and then abruptly, sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. Spoiler: it's not the bathroom. It's an escape. If you had emotional intelligence, you would have already stopped at the words, it was a burrito. An example of how to do it right. You start a conversation about favorite movies, and she immediately perks up. Oh, I love thrillers. Instead of delving into boring facts, you catch her mood and reply, really? You wouldn't happen to have a backup plan for hiding evidence, would you? Just in case. She laughs. And that's it, you're in. Tip: watch her reaction. If she's looking at her phone, fixing her hair, or pretending to urgently study her nails, stop, you're losing your audience. If she smiles, laughs, and continues the conversation, then you are moving in the right direction. If she says, "I urgently need to run," no more asking when you can meet again. Why it's important. Women want to be heard and felt. If you understand her mood and don't try to force the conversation, it adds to your score. It's like dancing. If she goes left and you go right, it ends up with you stomping her feet. And yes, emotional intelligence saves not only in a relationship, but also on the dance floor. Friends, practice emotional intelligence. Watch how she reacts and adjust to her mood. Remember, sometimes it's better to stop the conversation in time than to drag it out to the level of "we'll never meet again." Like, subscribe to Infoport Psychology and of course turn on the bell. Together, we'll learn not only how to talk, but also how to hear. Are you ready to read her mind? Let's go! Context is everything, folks. If you think you can approach a woman with the same phrase anywhere, well, no. Spoiler. The gym, the coffee shop, and the library are 3 different worlds, and each one dictates its own rules. If you don't understand this, then alas, you have a better chance not of getting a date, but of getting weird looks and excuses. You decided to meet a girl at the gym. Good choice. The important thing to remember here is that she didn't come here to get you, she came here to get her dream abs. If you walk up when she's lifting a barbell and say, "Hey, I see you like to work out," get ready for that barbell to end up on your feet. And please don't help without an invitation. If you come up and start explaining how to do lunges correctly, you will not be a helper for her, but a candidate for removal from the hall. The cafe is a classic. Here everything is much simpler, but there are nuances here too. For example, if she is having coffee with a friend, do not burst in with the phrase, "Hi, I saw you and decided that this is fate." You know what she'll think? Fate? No, this is clearly a mistake of the universe. And yes, if she's drinking her cappuccino, don't ask questions like, "Do you come here often?" That sounds like the beginning of a police interrogation, not an attempt at familiarization. Here comes the library, a place for intellectuals and those who like silence. If you suddenly decide that this is the right place for a loud, "Hi, do you like books?" Congratulations, you've just taken it from the possibly interested list straight to the guards help list. It is best to say something quiet and unobtrusive. For example, "Is this author good? I've never read it, but you seem to know a lot about books. That's closer to normal than a horror movie." Why is context important? Because the place determines the mood. At the gym, she's thinking about approaches. At the coffee shop, she's thinking about how to relax. And at the library, she's thinking about how not to attract the attention of an angry librarian. If you don't understand how this works, your approach to dating risks being as successful as going to the store without a shopping list. Tip: research places and their rules. Don't assume that one place will work for everyone. Choose an environment where you and she feel comfortable. And remember, your task is not to ruin her day, but to make it a little more interesting. Friends, choose your dating scene wisely. And remember, if you behave appropriately, you have a chance. And if you don't, well, then subscribe to Infoport Psychology, press the bell, give us a like, and we'll teach you how to choose not only words, but also places. Let's work on this together. Well, friends, we've covered a few more important aspects. How to read moods, why sincerity always wins, and even discussed how not to fail when choosing a place to meet. But most importantly, you realize that success in relationships starts with working on yourself. And that's not all. In the next part, we will reveal how to keep a woman's interest after the first conversation, what mistakes men make most often, and how to become someone she will really want to know more about. In order not to miss the next part, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel. Click on the bell and be sure to like if you learned something new or just laughed. While you have time, remember what you can improve and start taking action. And we'll see you very soon with more tips to help you move towards success. See you soon.